everyone. It's me again, coming from the LR. And this is the second series of well, not second series, but second segment of the love relationship series. Well, last time we actually covered the essentialities of a sustained, long lasting relationship. And I know essentiality is a word I made up, but that's where a word come from. Words come from things people made up. So anyway, and I feel like it's appropriate. So anyway, today we're going to talk about the things, not the things, but the places that you can actually go and meet a good man. And not to say that anyone is looking. However, these are some of the places that found as far as meeting a person that you are really and truly looking to spend the rest of your life with. These are some very good places, and the volume of success is fairly good. And before I actually came up with this list, I already had a list in my head just on things that I know. But I said, okay, well, let me not just be it just me and me thinking I know everything. Let me do some research. So I actually went online and pulled up a few articles where people had talked about the best places to meet a good man. And then there was an article also that says the best place to meet men. Didn't say good men, but best place to meet men. And through the research, places that I thought of were on, some of these lists, and I still feel very highly about the ones that I'm going to recommend. But first of all, let me dispel a few places that I would say is taboo. Really not a good place. There's more myth to it than what it is as far as success. And matter of fact, in one of the articles, the woman who wrote the article, she actually mentioned some of these places. But again, this was the article that said in order to meet men, not good men. So, I give her a pass on that because she didn't say good men, she said men, places to be were men. But I'm talking about good men. So just to kind of dispel those places that is really not a good place as far as meeting a soulmate. I want to say like grocery stores and any grocery store, whether it's a high end grocery store or whatever. Men, they actually camp out and seek out grocery stores just like uh, a hunter hiding in the woods for deers. They go to the grocery stores and they hope to meet women there. Um, and the thing about I've always known this, and I know some friends, who have done that and who do it. Um, but recently, the past couple of weeks or so, I was talking with one of my daughters, Alana, and she mentioned the fact about, she wanted to go to the store, do some grocery shopping. She said, but, she really didn't want to go alone. She said, because, men be trying to come and so even she knows. And of course, I said, baby, I'll go with you. So that won't be a problem. But a grocery store is really not a good place to meet a man. They try to make it appear as though it's by chance. Oh, but no. And again, like I say, nothing I say is 100%. So that doesn't mean that there aren't people who go to the grocery store just by chance and happen to run in to someone that they're attracted to and work. But the large volume, is usually a camp out. Same thing in relationship to going to the gym. Now, I know it sounds good. You know, you go there, you work out, and it's good to meet somebody who feels the same way about taking care of their body and, trying to do things. But the gym itself, a lot of times, becomes a pickup place. Yes, there are guys there working out, and, there are women there working out. And most of the time, it becomes a interest in someone, but basically, this person last week, had interest in another person, and it really turns into more of just a social pickup place. Um, One of the things that the article had that I thought was interesting, she mentioned men clothing store. Now, the reason why I don't feel that this is a good place to meet a good man, uh, men who tend to shop a lot tends to put a lot into themselves and tends to spend as much time in the mirror as a woman does. Now, does this mean that he couldn't be a good man? Not necessarily. However, anyone whose vanity is more than uh, I guess what a woman's may be, or whatever. That's very iffy. I would think if you're looking for the soulmate, you want someone who is not so much. I mean, granted, I don't get me wrong. I believe men should dress well. I believe they should smell well, and all those good things. But a vain man tends to be really and truly in himself and more selfish and just being honest about it. And so it's less about you, but it's more about them. But can you find men in a clothing store? And granted, let's say a high end clothing store, well, means okay, dress well, probably makes good money and things. But that's a whole nother series if that's the type of man that you're looking for. We can talk about that at another date, but men clothing stores, no. The other thing, annual events. Yes, you meet a lot of men there. Yes, that's absolutely correct. You go to any of the annual events, there's a crowd and group of people, and you can meet, multitudes of men. But they know that, and they can meet multitude of women. So it's just like going to a club. It's just an annual thing. They know that women are going to be there, and so they're making the point they should be there. And it's no different from going to a nightclub or anything like that. So, annual event is not a good place in order to meet a good man. And then the other place is church. And I know some of you, what? Oh, yes, church. Church is not a good place to meet a good man. You would think. You would think that a man who's into the Lord, who's into the religion, who's into, knowing his Bible, that, yeah, yeah. But again, like the other events or the other things I had listed, men know that that's a good place. That's a good place to meet women and know that women are looking for those type of guys. The only thing about it is that a lot of times it doesn't turn out to be that you meet that person and that person want for you. And then next thing you know, uh, sister so and so is dating him. You know, then there's some conflict in the church. There's some things being said back and forth, and it becomes very messy. And that is really and truly not a good place to actually meet someone, meet who you think would be your soulmate because of the I guess the social gathering, the closeness and everything that tends to be in church for people who actually go to church, as they say, religiously and participate in all the church events. Um, Now, if you meet someone on a mission, that's somewhere, across seas, and the church is there and they're working it. Now that's a different story, and that says something about that person, But as far as like the day to day church going there's a lot of guys who are predators, who actually attend church for those reasons. Okay. So anyway, those are the taboo things. All right. Well, let me get to the places that would be a good place to actually meet a good man. Um, and I have nine of them. Don't have 10, but nine. Number nine, work. Yes, work is a good place to meet a good man because you get the opportunity to actually, talk with someone that you have something in common with. You know that, both are employed. Uh, we spend more time at work than we do really and truly at home. When you actually get together and calculate the hours. So it's plenty of time to get to know someone. But the reason why I said number nine, because same situation, you can meet someone, y'all can date, y'all can get married, and then per se it doesn't work out. Well, there's a lot of things that can happen. It creates a lot of situations. Um, there used to be a saying, don't get paid and play at the same place. And I'm cleaning that up. But basically, you get the idea. So that's when my work came in at number nine. Now, number eight, online dating. And granted, there are thousands upon thousands of people who have met online and have, worked out a relationship and have gone on to matrimony and things, and those are success stories. But we're saying, okay, thousands upon thousands among multitude of millions of people. And online odds aren't great. If you actually look at the numbers that they tend to put out, like did 50,000, people got married, from even 500,000. Well, you look at the rest of the numbers, there's a lot of them, who didn't meet anybody. And I actually went online in order to, kind of do some more of the research because one point, somebody talked me into, trying online and looking online, and and I did, and didn't find anything, and basically, just got off and did away with the profile. Um, but like recently, I went back online just to kind of see uh, any information or something I may have missed, or just refresh my mind on the whole online event. And what was humorous is I saw a lot of the faces I saw the last time, which was probably about 5 years ago or something like that, and it's still there. Um, online can work, but you have to put a lot of work into it because the issue is that you may go online, several times, even years, as some people have been, before you even come across. And you might have to go off, come back, go off, come back, before you may find that person. One of the problems is a lot of deception online. People posting pictures from 20 years ago, even 10 years ago. People not being honest in terms of who they are. Um, and the ones who call themselves being honest, really, I'm like, if you have to start out your statement this way, like, first of all, if you so and so, and if you so and so, and it isn't, then don't even bother. Okay, that shows me, well, it hasn't been really success so far for you on this, and So now it's the bitterness is coming out, and you may want to try a new route because evidently this is not working. Uh, so online can become convoluted with a lot of things, and yes, you can meet someone, and you can have that person that you all share a lot of things in common online, but it takes work, it takes time. You got to weed through all the other BS before you may, because it's not guaranteed, may possibly meet that soulmate. Okay, coming at number 7, I have amateur little league type sporting events, and you almost say, "Wow, well, where are you going with this?" Okay, there are quite a few opportunities in terms of meeting a good man at these type of events. The ones that's not married, granted, uh, at school events, amateur events, little league events. You have a multitude of people are there, and you have guys who may be coaching these teams who basically, maybe fresh out of college or maybe not that far out of college, but yet still, they enjoy working with kids and, they're into the whole coaching thing, the life teaching thing. And you can see a lot of guys, who put their time in and volunteer and not just the coaching, the ones that help running the events, the ones who are like the managers out there, the ones who are the referees, there are a lot of single guys and young guys. They're there. And for you more mature women, there are men, who are like divorced, uh, or could be widows or whatever, but they're single who are there supporting the kids and supporting their kids, and so that gives you insight as to what type of man that is, because that's a man who is into whatever his kids are into and into supporting the kids. So those type of events, and there's a lot of people that go, um, all ages. So you get the opportunity, you go to any of those events, and it doesn't matter, whether it's football, soccer, baseball, basketball, track, or whatever. Attend some of those events. And if you want to go along, take a girlfriend with you or anything or something like that. But basically, you can really and truly, see, few guys who are into, giving back to other generations, kids, which says something for that particular person. Okay, and actually, coming at number 5, social events, but social events from friends and associates. And I specify that, but I want to say not that they're trying to set you up or match you with anybody. There's no, just that they're having a social event. And granted, most of the people, there's a lot of people who they're married, but they invite single friends, single people that they work with and things. And you go to these events, and there's no pressure. There's no pressure at all. And if you see someone that you may be interested in, well, then more than likely that friend or associate can give you some insight, and they introduce you guys. And it's not as hectic. It's very light, just like I said, there was nobody, no one was trying to meet anyone else. It was just an event that you all both attended and happened to be attracted to one another. And then it gives you time, to actually sit down and talk. And then anything about that person, uh, that friend or associate may know, and if they're a friend, they can tell you, or they can say, nah, he's really and truly a good guy, so you can get some inside information. So that's really and truly, that's an excellent place to actually meet someone, friends or associates, social events. Okay, now coming at number four, and actually, I didn't think of this one, but when I saw it, I said, you know what? That actually really does make sense. Okay, now for some of you old school um, uh, ladies, well, old school thoughts. Let me just say that old school mindset used to be way back that a young lady go off to college, yes, to get an education, but to find her husband. Now, some of y'all may not want to admit that or whatever, but that is God's honest truth. That's some of the things that mothers had taught their daughters and everything like that. You go, that's where I met your dad, or whatever. But anyway, it was a mindset. But things have changed. That is no longer the case. And I tried to instill that into my girls. And the thing of it is like women are very independent and they can do anything as they consistently are proven. So it's not to go to college and find your husband, but if you happen to meet someone there and you all have things in common and it just seems to mesh and everything, then that's good. That's good. Not that that was your intention, because what I want my daughters to be, as I want every woman to be, is not having their heads turned by a man, but not being turned off by a man. So basically, I want them to turn around and be their own person. And, if they happen to find someone, college or whatever, that's fine. Good. But however, for those who did not find the love mate, soul mate, love of their life in college, all is not lost as far as the education setting, because that is a good place. If you like decide to actually further your education, want to go for your master's or even doctorate, uh, the education, you still have the school setting, that you can actually participate in, and that you can meet other people who's along the same lines, who's looking to further education in order to reap more of a benefit from their degrees. And that means that you all have something in common as a person who's looking to gain just as you are. But let's say you're not trying to do the masters, you're not trying to do, a doctorate or anything like that. There are other things. Look at what you're interested in. There are other courses you can take. You can take a pottery course. You can take, an art course. You can take anything that you have an interest in the course. And anyone that you meet that has that like interest, and you may meet someone there, and so that's something that you all share in common. I mean, hell, I don't care what it is. If woman, you want to take auto mechanics, well, you meet a lot of guys from that, but strike that. May not be the ones you're looking for. But anyway, my point is that you can go to any type of education setting, to actually broaden your I guess horizon knowledge and everything, because you're looking to actually, broaden yourself. And in that, you may meet someone in that setting, and y'all have shared interests. Um, Now, another thing that I saw that I, think, that I thought was very interesting too is going to places like Apple, Google. You can take a tour of any of these places, and it just doesn't have to be Apple, Google. It could be PepsiCo, anything, any of these industries. Where they're working, thriving people and young people. And like I say, you can take a tour. You know, heck, and then you find out that they have kind of like an open setting as far as the cafeteria, or whatever. Why not go have lunch in their cafeteria? Why not just spend a little time around those places? And I'm sure they may have a situation where you may be even to volunteer sometime. at any of these places, and you can meet some of those people who are, the next generation, the thriving generation, and looking in to actually do things in the world. So I thought that was very interesting, and I said, okay, that deserves to be on the list. Okay, another place which came in at number three, and actually I should go back and kind of rephrase. The Friends social events was number five. Actually, the Google Apple tours and everything, that was number six, and I think I missed that. So I'm glad I went back and touched on that. Okay, but anyway, number three, I have workshops and seminars. And again, this kind of falls in line with the education, excuse me, the education thing. Uh, having shared interests. You go to seminars on things that you want to know about, and you attend workshops, those things that you're interested in. Then you would meet like people, who have those same interests. And so you know that you share an interest, and the thing is to find out what else do you all share in terms of things in common. And that's really and truly really, really good place. So you all kind of seen the theme I'm going with as far as like in meeting good people, but you having a shared interest. Okay, now coming in at number two, and number two actually was one of my favorites, and sure enough, it was on each list that I looked at. Volunteer projects. That is a wonderful thing because if you meet a man who volunteers his time, doesn't matter what type of volunteering that he's doing. Like if it's like uh, volunteering to help, feed the hungry, volunteer as far as like housing, HUD, helping, to build homes, volunteer working with kids, volunteering, going across seas and working, with the indigent over there. Any man who has in his spirit to volunteer and to give back to help fellow man is a person worth meeting. And that is high on the list. So if you actually really, really look into, meeting someone, but not don't let this be the only reason why you volunteering. I mean, you want to volunteer because that is who you are as a person, and you hadn't thought about it maybe until now. But excellent place, excellent place. Okay, now coming at number one. Number one, the best place to meet a good man is the place where and when you find you. Now, now you say, what does that mean? That's really what this video is about. It's about you actually finding you. Those things that you should be interested in. Those things that you want to do in order to better yourself. The things that you want to do in order for you to thrive and grow. You put back into you. Because I'm going to tell you, if you put into you and not even worry about, whether or not you're going to have a relationship and what the situation is, if you really and truly concentrate on putting things into you and your success, your well-being, your life as you want to make an impact, that within itself is such a turn on and sexy as hell to me. A woman who's self-confident, who really not looking, not searching, not thinking about, but they really and truly just concentrating on themselves. And I tell you, you do this, they will see you. Because a woman who is that well together, that thriving, I'm not speaking of a woman or the mindset, I don't need a man. We're not talking about need. None of this is need. A man does not need. You don't need a man in order to eat, sleep, drink, live, survive. You don't. You should. But a woman who's open and you know that situation comes with love, have it, open arms, welcome everything. But however, you know, the concentration is on themselves and not being selfish, but just looking at them as a person, what it is that they want to do, what it is that they want to achieve, where they want to be in life. And when they get to that point, when you are at that point, when you are that type of person, that type of personality just exudes all the way through, and men notice you. And when they notice you, believe me, you have more than what you need that you have to go through, which we'll talk about next, as far as like the assessment of the men. But put into yourself, put into yourself. A confident person. One thing I always say about my mother, my mother was a very successful woman who basically, said, it's not that she needed my father, she loved my father, and they had a relationship, marriage that went on, 50 years. So if you actually do the things that you need to do for you, then you will be all right. And granted, I know that there's some guys out there, who feel intimidated by a successful woman. Well, good, because you don't need them anyway, because they are men who actually need someone that is needy, so they can feel good about themselves. So in essence, they're needy. They're more needy than the needy person that they're looking for. That's not somebody that you want. And that's a whole nother segment, a whole nother part of this love relationship thing. But basically, that's it for today. I want you to know, just put into yourself, and then those other, 8 places that I talked about, you can go to those places. But have yourself together. You have done number one. Number one is you. And then when you meet someone, who becomes that same person, well, that has that same type of essence that you have, well, then, okay, then that's a beautiful thing. But anyway, that's it for today. And again, like I say, share the video, you know, visit the website, and until I see you next time, Greenwood.